I've got to go quick, so I'm sorry. I could speak probably 8 hours, okay? So I'm going to rush through this. So if you have some questions at the end, then maybe we can go through some. But just a little bit about me. I'm Tara Petch. If you have not met me before, know who I am. I'm a former public school teacher and school administrator. Born and raised Harris County, went through COVID, had to get out of there as fast as I could. My family, my parents are here tonight, so I'm so excited. So I miss them, but I love Fredericksburg, and I just had to get my kids to a better place. So I do have 4 children, 3 that are in FISD, and Tracy and I are put together to make school safe again. Tracy Knudsen, say hi as well. I don't know, I may need your help. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so I'm gonna go kind of quick through this, but guys, you've got to know that there's a worldly agenda to sexualize our children. Okay, this is so much bigger than library books. So I think that's a huge distraction that especially the opposition is trying to get us to focus on, but it goes so much bigger than that. So I'm gonna put up a couple news articles lately, like UNICEF published a report that says pornography is not always harmful to children. Did you know that? Okay, that was last week in Dallas. Parents took their children to a drag show. The children actually gave the dancers money. The Detroit Tigers are donating for trans surgeries for children. And then this is the newest Gallup poll, and if you saw the Bill Maher show probably a few weeks ago, he showed this, okay? So skip through, I don't know if you can see this, but in 1940, that generation, 0.8% of those people identify as LGBTQ. Fast forward to our generation now that are in our schools and colleges, Generation Z, 21%. 1 in 5 of those people, of those young people, say that they are in that community. Okay, so it's doubling every generation. That should tell us that something is going on. It's deliberate, and it's indoctrination. And we need to be aware of that. So it is in our schools. I may need a little bit of help. Okay, so some more headlines here, of course. We're finding the library books. You know, I can't go on Matt Long's show and read them on there. We can't publish them in the newspaper. Mr. Cook says they're too obscene, but they can be in our school libraries. And this is across the country. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm gonna need your help, I think. I think it's just running low. Oh, wait, that totally skipped.
Okay.
A lot.
Why don't you just say next slide?
Yeah.
I have a lot of clicking in between though too, but yes, I'll tell you to click. So just some other headlines. You heard about State Farm. They're donating books last week to 5-year-olds in the schools regarding transgender books. They took that back real quick though. Did you see the outrage? And they walked that back pretty quickly. This is the biggest concern right now. And our school board, our superintendent, our Texas legislators, which y'all need to bring this up at convention because Joe Biden has announced that starting this month, he's going to put the policies in place that if you want free lunch money, federal lunch money for your low-income students, you have to let transgender boys go in girls' restrooms, locker rooms, or you do not get federal money. Okay, so we've been fighting this at City Hall, right? About taking the money and strings attached. This is a prime example of that. And that could impact this year. So I don't know what our legislators are doing, but we need to ask them. We need something done because that's coming. Okay, but God bless Texas. We didn't get laws passed in the last session about the transitioning of children, which we should have. But we didn't, but we do have a attorney general that has written a legal summary saying that it is child abuse for medical facilities to transition medically or surgically or hormones, whatever. So we do have that support, and we've won the case at the Texas Supreme Court as well. Oh, thank you. So with that being said, I want to show you 2 books today about what's happening and what Tracy and I have found in the elementary school. Okay, in our elementary school in Fredericksburg. I submitted this book. It is checked out, as you can see. It's called Too Bright to See, and it is available for 5 to 11-year-olds or 6, 7 to 11-year-olds at the elementary school. It was pushed to book review committee, which I was a little disappointed about. I think it should be immediately removed, but for not being age appropriate. But that's a whole nother discussion. But it's about the truth about Bug's gender identity. So the whole story is about this child that is questioning their identity. And you can see on here, if I knew, I don't want to push anything, but you can see, oh, no, go back, I'm sorry. You can see all the awards that this book got, okay? And they're trying to push it on our children. So, but that's a book review committee, so that's a good prayer request to pray that the book review committee, oh, that one, okay, that's it. Okay, thank you. I probably don't need that a whole lot, but yeah, so you can kind of read a little bit about it, but it's it's just not age appropriate, okay? And this is in our elementary school here, okay? I'm sorry, I would read everything, but I've got to go quickly and get done. This was a good win for us and our children. We did submit Lily and Duncan for removal because it was in the elementary school. And it's about a little boy that transitions and wants hormone therapy and to turn into a girl. At the back of the book, it has discussion questions for the child to read. And if you can't see these, but it's basically, it says on here, it's a powerful book for you to read and ask yourself these questions as you read. So it's one of those things where parents should be sitting down, if they choose to, and ask these questions with their children, but our 8-year-olds are going into the library to check this book out, and how confusing is all of this, for them to read and look at all the resources that are in the book as well. Again, in the elementary school, it directs them to every single LGBTQ website you can think of, and it says go there and discover more. So we know how kids are with technology, so. Okay, and Tracy and I are Libby app experts here. So when you look up hormone in that book, I think it says, 32 times or something, where it talks about hormone blockers through the whole book. So these little babies are reading about hormone blockers and how some boys are girls and some girls are boys. So talking about major confusion. And the questions down here at the bottom, 6 and 7, this is the big confusion on respect and acceptance, okay? Respect equals acceptance with this ideology that we're going through. So if you respect them, you have to accept them. You have to accept them. That's what respect is. And that's what our children are being taught. And I don't think that's how it should be. I think respect is being and loving like Jesus. Because we can tell our children that, you need to love and respect somebody that's different than you. You don't need to bully them. You don't need to make fun of them. But it's being pushed the other way in schools where you have to accept that lifestyle. And even though it may be against your moral and religious beliefs at home. So, okay. So I'm going to go through this quickly. Keep me up on time. Okay, so if you don't know the history about what's going on here, we had a really big victory in March. We have a superintendent that I sent him all the excerpts of all of the really bad books that we had. And him and some of his administrative team looked through them and ultimately determined they were pervasively vulgar. He used the legal school board law, which is right here, and that is EF legal. Okay, every school board and every administrator in Texas has the legal right to move any book out of their libraries or out of their curriculum that is pervasively vulgar or educationally unsuitable. You don't see a lot of superintendents using that. I don't know if you've been paying attention or not, but they're not. They're very PR and they don't want to cause a ruckus or whatever. And but ours did, and he got a lot of flack for that. But it's undeniable when you look at these excerpts of these books that we're showing them. So he stood up and he did the right thing in March. He moved this language, legal language, to our local school board policy here at FISD. And it basically gives any administrator, principal, him, assistant superintendent, the right to pull a book saying, okay, that's pervasively vulgar, we're going to get rid of it. So we had a big win. We had a huge win. It was so amazing to see his strength and doing what's best for children. We're a little bit at a standstill now, but that's okay. We're going to keep praying about that. But if you look on here, this was at our school board meeting, and the books that he and Miss Darrington and the team that he put together decided that the books that had these are tough. These were in the middle school and the high school. They had sex acts between teachers and students, child sex, adult and child sex, rape, graphic sex scenes, molestation, incest, pedophilia. They're tough. They're tough for Tracy and I to read, and we don't want to read that, you know. And I'm sure most of you don't want to read that, but they're available to our children. But you can go to makeschoolsafeagain.com, and I have all the excerpts up over there for you to read. So now we're to the point. The biggest update is that after March, you know, FISD didn't have a form in place, they didn't have a policy in place, they had no book review committees in place, nothing, before we brought this up and started submitting books. So they got their ducks in a row now, and so they have book review committees. I still don't know how those were chosen. I never got an email saying, hey, parents, do you want to come join this book review committee?
Karen, I got a phone call, so I think they were just who they think might want to help.
Okay, and how did they get your name that you wanted to help, though, you think?
I just know, I mean,
Yeah.
Miss Jax called me
Okay.
and asked me if I wanted to be on the committee, and I said, of course, you know,
Okay,
I wanted to help. But,
great.
Anyway, that was...
And we do have a couple book review committee members in here, so thank you for doing that, because I know those are not fun right now. But anyway, so with that being said, I don't know the rhyme or reason. I got called originally to be on a book review committee after all of y'all were chosen, and you were probably on the email thread where I got called out and got...
I saw that.
Yeah, and I had a conflict of interest, so somebody complained about me being on a book review committee. Anyway, so I don't know how those are chosen, but they're infiltrated, guys. I mean, it's the same people that you see in the paper or you see at school board meetings. They somehow got on there, and they have vowed to get no book out of our school. They want zero boundaries for our children. So we're going to have to just cross that bridge when we get there. So we're going to appeal anything we don't agree with if they ever meet and get any books out.
Well, we met, who else is in here?
Tracy and Philip are here.
So we met the last time, and then there was a lot of push-pull, I feel like, in the meeting, and pushing back on Robin.
Yes, they were very rude to her.
So they were not very kind. I mean, it was not appropriate. And anyway, by the end of the meeting, we had decided as a group to say, okay, take the summer. We have a meeting set. I forget the date. If you guys, it's right
August 2nd
or something like that.
Right before school starts. And we're gonna come back and have like power meetings about these books that we should be reading throughout the summer.
Yeah.
Because it was a lot of pressure. It's like 42 books, and everyone was like, well, what's the problem?
I know, it was not organized very well. But it is breaking the current FIC policy of them being reviewed within 30 days. So we're already way past that, because those have been submitted for months. But
yeah, but at the same time, it's 42 books.
Oh yeah, I understand. It's just, I'm hoping the book review committee thing will change and make it more, you know, where we can work with it.
I think it will. I think it just needs a little bit more structure.
Yeah, exactly, absolutely. Okay, so some of the book review, some that are on the book review committee for the secondary, actually have spoke openly at school board meetings. They also set up we're helping in the setup of the underground library in Fredericksburg, if you don't know about that yet. They're on the book review committee, so they can't be biased or anything, right? Okay, there we go. Well, that's the thing we need to talk about, and we need to plan, because I think some submissions and complaints need to be made. So there is an underground library, if you didn't know that. The opposition, I will just say, was not happy with the 10 books that were removed. So they invited some book banning activist to Fredericksburg. It was a couple weeks ago. I don't know if you saw it or not, but it was at Munch Park. And this is a picture of the, I'm going to need a little bit of help on this here. This is a picture of the Houston Chronicle. They did a story on it. I circled the 3 books right there in the middle. This is an actual picture of, they had a cart with a bunch of the books on there. And these are 3 of the books that were removed for being pervasively vulgar and educationally unsuitable. And so they have said that they are going to have every book that FISD removes at their underground library for children to check out. So yeah, that's what they're doing.
Where is the
It's at their headquarters.
Democrat.
The Democratic, I'm sorry, I'm gonna get to that. So here, the Gillespie County Democrats, they were upset about that. And so now they are housing an underground library. They got $700 worth of free books submitted to their underground library. And it is at their headquarters on whatever that street is over there at their offices. They said, I think Matt, we were talking about that, they're going to be open 3 days a week, but if they get a lot of people wanting to come, they're going to try to open more for the children to come in there. So yeah, these 3 books, I'm about to show you these 3 books that they put in there, but they're vowing to add all of those books in there. Jesus, Lane, and Fade were in the middle school, and that was 11 to 14-year-olds. That Fade was the first book that I found in my son's school. Absolutely shocked. Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl was at the high school, and our district said that they were pervasively vulgar and not suitable for children. So, but they disagree, and they want them there. A Fredericksburg Standard Radio Post contributor and FISD Book Review Committee member helped host this event, and the newspaper really promoted it. But these are the 3 books. I'm not going to read this out loud. I just want you to kind of read through it. But Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl, I did, as out of respect for the church, I tried to do the best I can and edit stuff out. But it's not just bad words. It's describing rape scenes and sex scenes between children. And it doesn't have to have a bad word in there to be completely inappropriate for a child to read that. But Fade on the right here is, like I said, this is the first book that I went and never searched the library in my life. I think it was February 1st. I went to my son's middle school and I found this book. And I'm reading, and if you can't see the summary there, but it's about 2 teenage high schoolers investigating a drug ring by teachers, and the teachers and coaches are drugging the students and having sex with them. That's what the book's about. So this what you see right here, Coach Carter and Mr. Wang, the girl here is a high school student that they're doing this with. Absolutely insane. But luckily, our district got rid of it. Okay, so maybe you've seen what the opposition has to say a little bit. It's like nearly every week, we have articles, lies. The Gillespie County Democratic Party wrote this, but this was a full-page ad that they put in the paper, and they basically say on here, ask why a few extremists are telling you to be afraid. I've never told anybody to be afraid. I'm a God-fearing Christian woman. I'm not fearful of anything. And we shouldn't be afraid, but we do need to fight for our children and make sure that they have the best, of everything when it comes to education and nothing inappropriate. But that was a full-page ad that they took out, and they've taken on others. Letters to the editor. I mean, literally, some of y'all see it. It's every week. And it's bringing up my children. It's talking about me. It's just insane.
Well, just to let you know, I've posted a letter to the editor for 3 weeks in a row that he will not publish.
He won't publish
that.
that.
Is basically against this.
Yeah.
And he won't publish.
No, he won't.
Definitely is against this.
I think we should all cancel our subscription.
A lot of people, and I've never asked anybody to do it, but I have people telling me all the time they have. And Ken knows. And And he's upset about it. He calls people. It's like, what is going on? It's like, listen, you're not being fair about these parents. They're just concerned about what their kids are reading in the school, you know? Yeah, it's obvious bias, so. But it gets out there, you know? And so that's why we have to have meetings like this so we can get the truth out there, okay? And I need you guys to talk to your friends and your family and everybody you know here in Gillespie County and tell them the truth. So yeah, the articles are constant, you know, against parents' rights. They mock and lie about concerned citizens. Again, you know, the book review committees are infiltrated, and they are a majority of people that have posted on social media and spoke at school board meetings and have hosted book banning events and put online petitions on change.org to keep the library books in the library. So, but anyway, we'll get there whenever we'll figure out what we're going to do when they won't get any of these books out. They attack FIC administrators at school board meetings, on social media, and letters to the editor. They basically do want Dr. Rodriguez's job gone. They're very, very upset with him. And at this point, you know, I'm trying to support him and encourage him and let him know that he's got more of us supporting him than this opposition does. And then the opposition, they've set up the underground library. Oh, thank you. Okay, so the fact sheet, you have a copy. If you don't have a copy of the fact sheet, please raise your hand and we'll get Dennis or George or Tracy to bring one over to you. But I am very fact-based, try not to go off emotion, law-based. If there's a law that proves it, then I'm gonna have that and tell you that, okay? So what I tell you is vetted and it's true, and this is just another way for us to prove that to you. But action, there's the school board emails right here. They need to hear from everybody. If this outrages you at all, shoot them an email and say, listen, we support you. You voted 7-0 to get these books out with good policies. Please keep doing that, because all they're hearing from is the other side. I mean, physically mailing threatening letters. That's why, I don't know if you know that, but Assistant Superintendent Ms. Darrington, she resigned and she's moving out of Fredericksburg. We have a new assistant superintendent now because she physically got mail, like old school mail threatening her, okay? So we have to show them that we support them. So email them, encouragement, support, always professional. We've never asked for anybody to be rude, but sometimes the truth kind of hurts or rattles, you know, some people, but guys, this is the truth and I know it's uncomfortable, but we have to do something.
I just want to mention that,
yes.
You know, the party, this resolution that you have in your hand is going to be put on the website. You'll be able to download the electronic version, so when you send something to the
yes,
whoever, okay,
yes,
and
I can
said,
post that too.
I agree with what the Republican Party said and endorsed, and they,
yes,
use the weight of
exactly. And I'm going to get to that in a minute, and I think that's going to be huge whenever they hear about what the Republican Party did this week. But anyway, look through that. I don't want to go through everything here, but like Dennis said, write letters to the editor. Let's flood them, okay? Because he lets a couple through, but like Dennis says, and Dennis, your letter to the editor is very professional. It wasn't rude. It was just fact-based, and they're just not publishing it. So on your fact sheet, you have the website. And what I want you to do in a minute is going to say here, I want you to subscribe at makeschoolsafeagain.com, and I'm going to send this electronically to you, so you just click on the link and it'll take you right there. You don't have to type all of that in, okay? Talk to your pastors, talk to your small groups. Do you have a Bible study? Do you have a social club? I will come, Tracy will come, we will go talk to them and give a small presentation, just fill them in on what's happening so that they know the truth. So we just need, we appreciate places like the Tea Parties, let us speak there, here, and we just appreciate that. We've traveled, so we just appreciate that, but we need more connections. I'm going to tell you some really good news in just a second here. And it can help from donations. We got donations to pull these good news that I'm going to tell you off. So if you want to donate, you can go to makeschoolsafeagain.com and donate there. Okay. All right. I'm going to go past that because I don't have time. Okay, so stay informed. Again, you get on my email list. I'm going to send you a link, but we do have a Facebook group. We're like over 350 people in there now. So it's pretty easy to find, but I can send you that link as well. Subscribe there. Learn how to search your kids' libraries. Maybe you're a grandparent here, and maybe your children are in Houston. I can teach you on the website or in person how to search their libraries and let their parents know. Email questions to me. We have some business cards. Okay, that's good there. Okay, so good news. I'm doing good on time. Okay, so we wanted to put, well, I say we. Miss Laura Logan has been very vocal, and she's very supportive. Nearly every single interview or show that Laura Logan goes on, she brings up Fredericksburg and what we're dealing with here in the libraries. She gives us a shout out every time. She's very passionate about this and wants the libraries cleaned up. So one day, I think it was Patriot, Hill Country Patriot though, she was on, she's like, listen, Fredericksburg families, you need to take out an ad, you need to put these excerpts in the paper, you need to show the community what is going on. Well, we did. We collected money, and a lot of you here donated money, and we attempted to put the excerpts in the paper. Did everybody see them in the paper?
No.
No, because why? They're too obscene. So we got shut down. Mr. Cook said, no, they're a family paper. So we couldn't run the excerpts there. So we're trying to figure out different ways to use that money. So we have 2 ways I'm going to share with you tonight, and I shared it with everybody that was that donated as well. But if you don't know, Senate Bill 797, last legislative session, the governor signed, and it's been kept really quiet. Like I didn't even know about it, okay? But luckily, again, God intervened and opened our eyes to this. But we're going to be putting God back in schools in Fredericksburg, like literally. And if you donated and you're in my groups and you know what I'm talking about. But this was the law that was passed. And I think that's it on that part. Okay. And then I'll go back to that in a minute. But Tracy, if you want to come up here, I have our first poster that we are going to be putting up, and we have 6 of them, and we finally got it framed, and it looks so pretty and so nice. And so by law, it has to have only the motto, "In God We Trust." It has to have the United States flag, and it has to have the Texas flag, and that's it. So there's this organization, and Tracy, tell me, see the back of that. The National Motto Project, the state of Texas. If you turn that around real quick. They sent me the stickers as well. We're going to put this on the back of all of them. And it's so awesome because it tells about their ministry and how that they are supporting this cause and helping us get posters and all of that. But also it says here, if someone is offended by such a display and threatens a lawsuit, First Liberty Institute, and they give the phone number, or here at the website, has offered legal assistance. So it's like, they're ready to help us, if anybody. And I'm telling you, this is going to make some liberals' heads blow up here. So, but we want to make it a very special event. Dr. Rodriguez already knows that it's happening. He's put me in touch with one of the assistant superintendents, I think, of business. And so I would like to go to a school board meeting, present them there, go to the schools, get them hung up, and of course we'll invite the Fredericksburg Standard to come and take pictures for us and put in the paper. I'm sure they'll love that. But yeah, so that is awesome that we're literally putting God back in the schools. And so that's part of the money that we used for the donation money that we got. And then also George brought up the GOP resolution. I showed throughout my presentation that what the opposition has been doing, the newspaper ads, having book celebrations, having underground library, stuff like that. And, and I've talked to the Tea Party, I've talked to George, I'm like, listen, we've got to take a stand here. We're an 80% conservative county. We've got to stand up because, every single week, or letters to others, one person, it's 2 people. Bruce kind of talked about that the other day. It's not. There's a lot of us. There's a portion of them, but they're very loud. So just ran that by George, right? Well, him and Dennis and Pastor Burdick back here came up with this whole resolution idea, and I'm so excited about it. We basically a bunch of us and all the precinct chairs. And boy, do we have some awesome precinct chairs. so impressed at the meeting the other day. We presented the resolution that you have in your hands, okay? And we presented it to them. They made a couple little changes that were nothing big, and they voted unanimously to pass the resolution in our county. So we're so excited about that, and we're so excited about putting a full page ad of this in the Fredericksburg Standard. So again, we didn't get to put the books in, but we're gonna put our resolution in showing a united front, that we're here to protect our children and support printer rights. So I'm super excited about that. Yeah. Okay, so, and above all else, we just want you to talk to your friends and educate them about the issue, arm them with the truth, and pray to God Almighty for His favor in stopping this assault on our children, because that's exactly what it is. You can go to my website for more information. I'm talking so fast, I'm getting out of breath. Hopefully, that kind of, okay, and I think that's the end of that. But we do have time for a few questions. And if you or Dennis want to say anything about the resolution or whatever, but yes, we're going to try to get it in next week's paper. I'm getting up close pictures and video of me. I'm not used to this. But we're going to do that, and then I'm going to reach out to Dr. Rodriguez to see when we can get this going before school starts and get God back in schools. Okay, I saw a hand over here. Yes, sir?
I don't have a comment. I have a comment rather than a question. This thing is bigger in Fredericksburg than I ever envisioned.
Yes.
I thought we had a nice conservative, and when I've been here 17 years, this lady right here caught him dead to right. Mm-hmm. There is a lot of evil in this town, and I didn't know that. And a lot of it, they're after your children,
Yes.
and they're after your grandchildren. And you take my word for it, because that's what one of the planks in their program is. It's the big plank in their program. She caught them sitting, and we got those 10 books out of there, and they are mad about it. I can tell you that. So there's going to be a lot of kickback. Now she makes it, bless her heart, she makes it look like it's fun, and she's succeeding, and she's professional and everything
I
else.
like to win.
I just like this woman and what she's doing, and any support you can give her. And if you need more money, I'm not rich, but I'll send you another little check.
I appreciate it. We really do, because we use that money to make copies, to do stuff like this. I created this website because I had so many people across even the state. I'm connected with people now. I'm talking to Bob Hall's office. I've met Representative Toth's office. We've got these representatives and legislators that are ready to help us in Austin, and we are going to be in Austin. We need to start fundraising for that, because we're going to Austin. Ooh. And we're going to have a big event in Austin. So yes, sir, I really appreciate that, and that's absolutely true. And I get, oh, she's a new person. I've only been here since August. I didn't come here. I left Harris County to get away from that. Nowhere in my wildest dreams did I think God was bringing me here to unite this town against us, but I know for a fact that's exactly what He's trying to do. I do. Yes, ma'am. Somebody have a question over here?
I can wait. I know.
I just want to know, how big's the ad gonna be?
Full page.
All right.
Full page. Thank you for the donations, guys.
Bigger and better.
I want to say something about how that happened, okay?
Okay.
And it's about God and how He works, okay? When you pray about something and you pray with other people, the Bible says Jesus is in your midst, okay? So what happened in our group that was praying about this, God convicted somebody's heart in there that this is something really important. Went back and talked to his wife and said, God's telling us to give $1,000 towards this project. And we hadn't even really talked about the full page ad or anything like that. So my point is that when we pray, we have a real God.
Things happen.
Yeah.
Things happen. It's, and you want to pray with other people.
He's every time, guys. I will have at the beginning especially. I don't know if you know or not, but Ken Cook submitted a PIR request to the district to get my name because he wanted to know who was submitting these books. So I'm like, what? I don't work for the government. Why are they like doing a PIR, public information request on me? So at that point, I took that as a threat. I'm like, what are they going to do? They have my phone number, my email. I mean, what are they going to do, right? So that was a hard moment. I mean, Angela Smith's not here, but I was on the phone with her. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm just a mom. What is going on? And so moments like that have happened, but then I immediately stop, Tara, devil get behind me, and then God fixes it every single time with this. So people tell me, Miss Sandra, oh, you're so strong and you just don't get intimidated and stuff. I have my moments, but God is so in this like nothing in my life before. So he's tired of his children being murdered, and he's tired of his children being sexualized. So we have to do something. We can't sit by and just let it go anymore, because they've tripled down, the opposition has.